from English to Spanish and from Spanish to English in accordance with your training and experience? So help you. If so, say I do.
I do.
Thank you. We are now streaming live on YouTube.
Ahora estamos transmitiendo en vivo vía YouTube.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Buenas tardes a todos.
Everybody, please raise your right hand.
Levanten todos la mano derecha, por favor.
Do you swear or affirm that the information given to this court
¿Jura usted y afirma que la información que usted le va a dar a esta jueza,
as well as any information given to the court on your application for court-appointed counsel,
y también cualquier información que usted haya puesto para la jueza en la solicitud para que le nombre un abogado de oficio,
is true and correct, so help you? If so, say I do.
es correcta y verdadera? Y si así lo jura, diga que lo juro.
Lo juro.
I swear.
Okay, I didn't hear the rest of you all. Did you all hear the judges? If so, say I do. Can you all hear me? I couldn't hear you. Madam Interpreter, can you let the man know he can put, who do we have in front of me? I'm sorry.
Perdón, ¿a quién que tengo enfrente mío?
Gerardo Paz García.
Gerardo Paz García.
Okay, Mr. Garcia, please put your hand down.
Señor García, por favor, baje su mano.
Everyone else, that oath I just gave was for everybody. Did you all take the oath? If not, we can do it again. Please raise your right hands. Do you swear or affirm that the information that you will give this court, as well as any information given on the court-appointed applications for counsel, are true and correct, so help you? If so, say I do.
I do.
Thank you. Thank you. Now we can begin.
Okay, ahora podemos comenzar.
I am going to be speaking to all of you.
Yo voy a hablar para todos ustedes.
The interpreter is going to be interpreting in Spanish for Mr. Garcia.
Y la intérprete va a estar interpretando en español para el señor García.
It's important that everybody pays attention so that we can make this go smoothly.
Es importante que todos ustedes presten atención para que esto se haga de una manera fácil.
To that end, can everyone hear the court?
Y con esto pueden todos escuchar a la jueza.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Great, thank you. This is your first appearance before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County.
Esta es su audiencia inicial en el Tribunal de Primera Instancia del Condado de Clayton.
You are not here for the court to try your case or take a plea.
Usted no está acá para que la jueza acepte una declaración.
I am here to inform you of your charges,
Yo estoy acá para informarle de cuáles son sus cargos,
to advise you of your rights,
para decirle cuáles son sus derechos,
to schedule a preliminary hearing for some of you,
para programar la audiencia preliminar para alguno de ustedes,
to set bail for some of you,
para fijarle fianza a alguno de ustedes,
and to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney.
y para determinar si usted va a necesitar la asistencia de un abogado.
During this and all other proceedings, you have the following rights.
Durante este y todos los otros procedimientos, usted tiene los siguientes derechos.
You have the right to the presumption of innocence until the state proves your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
Usted tiene el derecho a la presunción de inocencia hasta que el Estado muestre su culpabilidad más allá de una duda razonable.
You have the right to indictment by grand jury for felonies.
Usted tiene el derecho de que se le acuse formalmente por el jurado indagatorio para los delitos graves,
or by accusation for misdemeanors.
o que se le formule una acusación si es un delito menor.
You have the right to a speedy and public trial by jury.
Usted tiene el derecho de tener un juicio público, rápido y por jurado.
You have the right to see, hear, and cross-examine witnesses who are called to testify against you.
Usted tiene el derecho de ver, escuchar y contrainterrogar a los testigos que sean citados para testificar en su contra.
You have the right to compel the attendance of your own witnesses by subpoena.
Usted tiene el derecho de obligar a sus testigos que vengan a testificar usando un citatorio.
You have the right to testify should you choose to do so.
Usted tiene el derecho de testificar si usted así lo elige.
However, no one can require you to testify, and should you choose not to, you are still presumed to be innocent.
Y sin embargo, nadie lo puede obligar a usted a que lo haga, y si usted lo hace, nadie puede asumir que por esto usted es culpable.
You have the right to have an attorney represent you.
Usted tiene el derecho de tener un abogado para que lo represente.
It is the position of this court to provide each of you with an attorney.
Y es la posición de esta corte nombrarle a cada uno de ustedes un abogado.
However, you can always hire your own counsel or represent yourself.
Sin embargo, usted siempre puede contratarse su propio abogado, representarse a sí mismo.
Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds pending your release from pending the prosecution of your case.
A alguno de ustedes se le va a permitir salir bajo fianza teniendo el caso pendiente para ser enjuiciado.
This bond may be cash, commercial, or property.
Esta fianza la puede pagar en efectivo, usando una compañía fiancista o usando una propiedad.
If you post a cash bond, someone will deliver the full amount with any fees to the sheriff's office, who will hold it while your case is being prosecuted.
Si usted quiere pagar su fianza en efectivo, alguien tiene que pagar la cantidad de su fianza en efectivo a la comisaría, el cual se quedaría con este dinero hasta el final de su caso.
After your final court date, the cash bond will be returned to the person who posted the bond.
Y después que usted tenga la última corte, la fianza que se le pagó en efectivo se les va a ser reembolsada a la persona que lo pagó.
You may also be allowed to use a bonding company.
A usted también se le va a permitir usar una compañía fiancista.
The company will take up to 15% of your bond as their fee.
Y la compañía le va a cobrar hasta el 15% de la cantidad total de su fianza, como la cantidad que ellos cobran por pagar la fianza por usted.
This fee will not be returned.
Pero esta tarifa no le sería reembolsada.
Someone may also post a bond using property, as long as there is equity at least 3 times the amount of bond.
Alguien también puede usar una propiedad para pagar la fianza, siempre y cuando tengan hasta 3 veces la cantidad total de la fianza para ser asegurada.
This means if your bond is $2,000, your property must have at least $6,000 in equity to qualify.
Esto significa que si su fianza es de $2,000, la propiedad tendría que tener por lo menos $6,000 en capital para poder ser usada.
Everyone will have special conditions on their bond.
Todos van a tener condiciones especiales en su fianza.
At minimum, you will not be permitted to violate any laws while out on bond.
Por lo menos a usted no se le va a permitir infringir ninguna de las leyes cuando esté fuera bajo fianza.
Some of you will have additional special conditions on your bond
Algunos de ustedes van a tener condiciones adicionales en su fianza,
that prohibit you from going around certain people or certain places.
donde se le prohíbe que usted se ponga en contacto con ciertas personas o de que vaya a ciertos lugares.
If you violate the court's order with any of these special conditions,
Y si usted,
your bond will be revoked.
y si usted infringe la orden de la jueza en las condiciones especiales, su fianza sería revocada.
And you would not be entitled to a new bond while awaiting trial.
Y usted no va a tener derecho a nueva fianza mientras espera ir a juicio.
Additional charges of influencing a witness or stalking could be brought against you.
Le podrían imputar cargos adicionales de influenciar a testigos o de persecución ilícita con agravante.
And you could be sentenced up to 10 years in prison or fined up to $20,000.
Y usted podría ser sentenciado hasta 10 años de prisión y una multa de hasta $20,000.
If you have family members who are assisting you with your bond today,
Si usted tiene familiares los cuales le están ayudando a pagar la fianza en el día de hoy,
they should wait until the conclusion of this calendar before attempting to post your bond.
ellos deben de esperar que termine esta audiencia antes de tratar de pagar su fianza.
If you're a family member, your friend is the alleged victim, he or she will not be permitted to post your bond.
Y si su pariente es la presunta víctima, a él o a ella no se le va a permitir pagar su fianza.
Some of you are charged with offenses for which the court is not authorized to set bond.
Algunos de ustedes se les imputa cargos por los cuales a esta jueza no le permiten fijarle fianza.
Some of you are on active probation, and in that event, the court is not authorized to set bond.
Alguno de ustedes está fuera bajo libertad condicional y en este caso a esta corte no se le permite otorgarle fianza.
If you are not provided a bond today, your bond will be reconsidered at a later date by a different judge.
Si a usted no se le concede fianza en el día de hoy, su fianza sería tomada en cuenta o reconsiderada en otra fecha más en lo adelante por otro juez.
Please listen up, everyone. I'm about to explain the preliminary hearing, and I will ask each of you a specific question regarding the preliminary hearing if you are facing misdemeanor charges only.
Escuchen ustedes cuidadosamente. Yo le voy a explicar lo que son las audiencias preliminares y le voy a hacer preguntas específicas con referencia a las audiencias preliminares. Si a ustedes se le acusa solamente de delitos menores.
Thank you, Ms. Bermudez. I should have broken that up. The purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine if there is enough evidence to keep you detained.
El propósito de la audiencia preliminar es determinar si hay suficientes pruebas para mantenerlo detenido.
For those of you charged with misdemeanors only, you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing.
Para aquellos de ustedes los cuales tienen delitos o se le acusa de delitos menores solamente, usted tiene la opción de renunciar a tener su audiencia preliminar.
Waiving your hearing does not affect your right to a trial.
El renunciar a tener su audiencia preliminar no afecta su derecho a tener un juicio.
It does not affect your right to have an attorney represent you.
No afecta el derecho de que usted tenga un abogado para que lo represente.
It does not affect your right to post bond.
No afecta su derecho de pagar su fianza y salir.
If you are waiving your preliminary hearing, your court date will come in the mail.
Si usted renuncia a tener su audiencia preliminar, le enviarían su citatorio por correo.
If you are going to post bond anyway, your preliminary hearing will be waived when you post bond.
Y si usted piensa pagar su fianza de todos modos, su audiencia preliminar se cancela automáticamente cuando usted paga su fianza.
When you come before the court, if you decide to waive your preliminary hearing,
Cuando usted venga ante la jueza, si usted decide renunciar a tener su audiencia preliminar,
you will sign your waiver and your case will be moving forward to the state court.
usted firmaría su formulario de renuncia y su caso sería transferido al tribunal estatal.
Even if you do not bond out and you only have misdemeanors, you can still waive your preliminary hearing.
Y hasta si usted no paga su fianza y usted tiene delitos menores, usted todavía podría renunciar a tener su audiencia preliminar.
In that instance, you will go before a state court judge to plead not guilty and go to trial, or plead guilty and be sentenced.
Y si eso pasa, usted iría ante el tribunal estatal y usted podría declararse no culpable, ir a juicio, o podría declararse culpable y ser sentenciado.
Deputies, we are now ready to go forward with the calendar. We will do Mr. Garcia first, and then the female inmates.
Algo así estamos listos para proceder con la lista de causas y vamos a atender al señor García primero.
Give me one moment to retrieve this paperwork. Are you Gerardo Garcia?
¿Es usted Gerardo García?
Sí.
Yes.
You are charged with no license and improper U-turn.
A usted se le acusa de conducir, de manejar sin licencia de conducir y de doblar en U de forma inapropiada.
Although there is a $1,500 bond, I'm going to allow you to sign off on an OR.
Y aunque usted tiene una fianza de $1,500, yo le voy a permitir que usted salga bajo palabra, o sea, que usted firme su propia fianza y pueda salir sin tener que pagar ese dinero.
Do you intend to sign yourself out on bond?
¿Usted piensa firmar su fianza para poder salir?
Sí.
Yes. It seems like he said yes, Judge.
Okay. Your next court date will come to you in the mail. Actually, no, because he's not represented. We'll go ahead and sit him down for a waiver. I mean, a preliminary, and then we'll go from there. So just let him know his next court date will be December 8th at 8 a.m. in room 201.
Su próxima corte está programada para el 8 de diciembre a las 8 de la mañana en la sala 201.
Thank you.
¿Me escuchó?
Sí.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Ok, muchas gracias.
And I believe that's it, Ms. Bermudez. So I think that you can be excused and have a happy holiday.
Yes, ma'am. You too. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, thank you.
We'll see
We're
you.
gonna start with the female judge.
Yes,
Calendar 24th, date 24th.
excuse me?
So we're gonna start, with the female, with the calendar and the 24th.
The first person I have on my set is Seliyah Bedford.
That's correct, ma'am.
Okay, I'm ready when you are.
He's ready. State your
Thank
name.
you. Ms. Bedford, you are charged with battery. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading, or do you wish to have your charges read aloud? We are streaming live on YouTube. I have no problem reading it for you, but I want you to know that we are streaming live. Do you wish me to read your warrantless arrest affidavit, or do you waive the reading?
You can read it.
It is alleged that on it's alleged that you did get into a physical altercation with Erica Bedford, who is your mother, at 414 Lady Guinevere Way, that you began shoving and then bit her left arm, leaving a bite mark where she was bleeding from and scratches on her right arm. You and your mother share a relationship and live together at the incident location. Your bond is $3,500. You were to stay away from Erica Bedford. You cannot return to 414 Lady Guinevere Way. I will allow you to return with a sheriff's escort for the limited purpose of retrieving your personal property. However, you cannot return to that property without a sheriff's escort until this matter is resolved or until this condition is modified by another judge. You must also not violate any laws out on bond. Are you able to make bond, ma'am?
I don't know, ma'am. That's what I'm trying to see now.
All right. This is a misdemeanor. You have the option to waive your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes.
Please sign your waiver. Your next court date will come in the mail. Have a good day. Jessica Bradford should be next. Ms. Bradford, you are charged with criminal damage to property in the second degree. Do you waive the reading of your affidavit, or do you wish to have it read aloud? We are streaming live. It is accused that you damaged the clothing of DeMarcus Dewberry by pouring bleach on it. You damaged the living room television. You smashed the living room picture frames on the ground. You poured bleach on the living room couch. It will cost more than $500 to replace the damages. You and the offender lived together. This occurred in Clayton County. This is a felony. Your bond is $5,000. You are to stay away from Mr. Dewberry. You cannot return to 5724 Riverdale Road, Building G, Apartment 19. It was indicated that this is your residence. As such, you may return with the sheriff's escort for the limited purpose of retrieving your personal property. However, you cannot go back to that property unescorted until this matter is resolved or that condition is modified by another judge, and you must not violate any laws out on bond. Are you able to make bond? Are you able to make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Your next court date will be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Judge, you ready for the next one?
Yes, Ms. Burns. You are charged with obstruction of an officer and civil battery. Do you waive the reading of your accusation, or do you wish to have it read aloud? We are streaming live.
Wait.
Your bond is $7,000. and you must not violate any laws out on bond. Are you able to make bond?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
These are misdemeanors. You have the option to waive your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes.
Thank you. Please sign your waiver. Your next court date will come in the mail. Have a good day. Terry Campbell should be next.
We got again, Judge?
Terry Campbell. Ms. Campbell.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning or afternoon, I should say. You are charged with driving with suspended registration, possession of marijuana less than an ounce, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Do you waive the reading of your warrantless arrest affidavit, or do you wish to have it read aloud? We are streaming live.
No, ma'am.
You don't want me to read it?
Please, no.
Okay. Your bond is $7,500, and you must not violate any laws out on bond. Are you able to make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Your next court date will be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day.
How much you said my bond was, ma'am?
$7,500.
Thank you so much,
You're welcome. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Asha Clark should be next. Ma'am, you are charged with criminal damage to property in the second degree. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your warrantless arrest affidavit, or do you wish to have it read aloud? We are streaming live. You want me to read it?
No, ma'am.
Okay, your bond is $5,000, and you are to stay away from Will Bullock. You cannot return to 2703 Chase Lake Drive in Jonesboro, Georgia. Do you reside there with Mr. Bullock?
Yes, ma'am.
You can return there with a sheriff's escort for the limited purpose of retrieving your personal property. However, you cannot go back to that property without a sheriff's escort until this matter is resolved or until that condition is modified by another judge. You must also not violate any laws on bond. Are you able to make bond, ma'am?
Yes.
This is a felony offense. As such, your next court date will be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day, ma'am. Angela Dura. Ma'am, you are charged with obstruction of an officer. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your warrantless arrest affidavit, or do you wish to have it read aloud? We are streaming live.
Yes.
I can't hear you, ma'am. I can't hear you again.
Yes, ma'am.
You want me to read it, or you want me to waive the reading?
No.
So I keep giving you options and you keep saying yes or no. So just tell me, what do you want me to do?
Read it.
Okay. It is accused that you approached a road safety check. You approached the deputies while they were all occupied in an investigative stop, that you approached the deputies yelling and using foul language, that they instructed you to leave the scene 3 times, that you refused to follow directions, continued yelling, and then you were then placed in custody. Your bond is $3,500, and you shall not violate any laws out on bond. Are you able to make bond, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this is a misdemeanor, so you have the option to waive your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes.
Thank you. Please sign your waiver. Your next court date will come in the mail. Have a good day, ma'am. Alicia Epps should be next. Ma'am, you are charged with battery. Do you wish for me to read your warrantless arrest affidavit, or do you waive the reading? We are streaming live.
No, ma'am.
So that means read it or don't.
No, don't read it.
Okay, so that means you want me to waive it. I understand. Your bond is $3,500. You are to stay away from DeMario Sanders. You cannot return to 9066 Bob Jackson Drive in Jonesboro. It was indicated that that is your residence. As such, you can return there with a sheriff's escort for the limited purpose of retrieving your personal property. However, you cannot go back to that property without a sheriff's escort until this matter is resolved or until that condition is modified by another judge. You must also not violate any laws out on bond. Are you able to make bond, ma'am? What was that?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. This is a misdemeanor. You have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Please sign your waiver. Your next court date will come in the mail. Have a good day, ma'am. Jasmine Fort. Ma'am, you are charged with battery. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your warrantless arrest affidavit, or do you wish to have it read aloud? We are streaming live.
Don't read it.
Don't read it.
No.
Your bond is $3,500. You are to stay away from Jessica Bradford, and you must not violate any laws or out on bond. Are you able to make bond?
Yes.
This is a misdemeanor. You have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Ma'am.
You say yes?
Yeah.
Put your mask over your nose. We got to make sure we stay safe. Go ahead and sign your waiver, and you have a good one, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Kendrick Hart. Is Kendrick Hart OTB?
Only got him on the list.
Actually, that's a male anyway, so we'll get him shortly, but he might just be in the wrong stat.
He's OTB.
Okay, he's OTB. Thank you. Bernadette Hogan. Ma'am, you are charged with criminal trespass and aggravated assault. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your warrantless affidavit, or do you wish to have it read aloud? We are streaming live.
I wish to have it waived.
Okay, your bond is $13,500. You are to stay away from Marquez Jacob or Jacob Marquez. You cannot return to 455 Park Ridge Circle in Riverdale. Since that is your residence, I will allow you to go with the sheriff's escort for the limited purpose of retrieving your personal property. However, you cannot go back to that property without a sheriff's escort until this matter is resolved, until that condition is modified by another judge. You must also not violate any laws out on bond. Are you able to make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Your next court date will be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day. Anya or Anaya Kennard.
Judge, what you said, Judge?
Anaya Kennard, she may be OTB. It's a license violation. Kennard is her last name.
You got that one in the Crowley?
She's OTB.
Thank you, Carly. Okay, so next we should have Manisha Pitts. Ma'am, you are charged with battery. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your warrantless arrest affidavit, or do you wish to have your paperwork read out loud? We are streaming live. You said read it?
Yes, ma'am.
It is accused that you committed the act of battery when you got into a verbal argument with your boyfriend, Reginald Sims, which turned physical. You openly admitted to causing visible bleeding marks to the right side of the victim's neck by using your nails and punching the victim. The offender stated that the incident occurred when the offender got upset when the victim when she asked him to drive her back to Louisiana, and he said no. Both you and he have lived together in Louisiana for 1 year. This incident occurred in Clayton County, Georgia. Your bond is $3,500. You are to stay away from Reginald Sims. You cannot return to 7412 Davidson Circle, room 212, and you must not violate any laws out on bond. Are you able to make bond?
No, without him.
This is a misdemeanor. You have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing? I can't hear you. Say it one more time for me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please sign your waiver. Your next court date will come in the mail. If you don't make bond, they'll bring you up for your next court date, okay? So either way, you'll be moving it on, okay? Keisha Rose should be next.
Rose. Rose. Put the mask on, man. How are you doing?
Ma'am, you're charged. You're Keisha Rowe.
Wrong. It's on the wrong. It's RAW.
No. That's it. Judge, when you say Keisha?
Keisha Latifah Rowe. The person in my paperwork is a Black female.
Right here, man.
She's OTB. Are you Ms. Rowe?
Yeah.
Okay, you're charged with no license.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm giving you an OR bond. That means you can sign yourself out on this charge. As long as you do not violate any laws and come to court, you don't have to pay any money to get out of jail. Do you understand, ma'am?
Yeah.
Is it your intention to bond yourself out and write your signature and bond out?
I can't bond myself out because I don't have the money.
I'm not putting a money amount on there, ma'am. That's what I'm explaining to you. Because of your charges, it's just a license charge. I'm allowing you to get out on your own recognizance. I'm just asking you, do you intend to write yourself out, not pay any money, but write yourself out on the bond that I'm giving you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, since you're gonna be writing yourself out, do you want to go ahead and sign your waiver now so you can get that done as well?
Yeah.
Okay, please sign your waiver. Your next court date will come in the mail. Have a good day.
Right here.
Okay, the next one is, it's Miss Shelley.
Yeah. On Lanisha. Good morning or good afternoon, I should say. You are charged with obstruction of an officer. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your warrantless arrest affidavit, or do you wish to have it read aloud?
Reading.
It's alleged that you interfered with a traffic stop when you walked up to deputies as they investigated an odor of a marijuana coming from a vehicle, that you drew the attention of deputies from their lawful duties with a loud, aggressive tone and failed to comply when told to leave the scene 3 times. Your bond is $3,500 and you must not violate any laws or out on bond. Are you able to make bond, ma'am? Was that a yes or no? I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
This is a misdemeanor, so you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes.
Thank you. Please sign your waiver. Your next court date will come in the mail. Have a good day. Donna Beard.
Sure.
Not paid.
Ma'am, you're charged with a felony violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act, loitering or prowling and obstruction of an officer. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your warrantless arrest affidavit? So I called Brianna Beard.
Yeah, he told me to just come up here. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Is Brianna Beard there?
Yes, we'll get her.
Yeah.
That's the one that's outside.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I was saying.
They don't have a finger. I think it is in the mail.
No, it's okay. I was about to say, I said, I ain't gonna tell me. Oops,
I have,
it's okay.
I don't know.
So, the podium. Right here.
Okay, are you Miss Beard? Brianna Beard?
You go louder, man.
You are charged with a felony count on violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act, loitering or prowling and obstruction of an officer. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your accusation, or do you wish to have it read aloud? We are streaming live. It is accused that you sat in the car in your parking lot of the Quality Inn. Let me start over. You sat in your car in the parking lot of a Quality Inn in the silver BMW SUV. The officer said they made contact with you, asked what you were doing. You said you were trying to get a room. The officer asked for your license. While you were looking for it, the officer noted a clear plastic bag with multicolored pills. The officer then asked you to step out to be placed in handcuffs, and you refused to get out of the car. You do not have a bond at this time based on your status as a probationer as of September of 2020. And this is a felony offense. Your next court date will be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day.
Go ahead. Step over there. Okay, now we're back on track there. So you.
Jada Clay.
Back on track.
It's Jada Clay. I'm sorry.
Yes. I'm sorry. I thought I said Jada.
It's Jada. You said it. It's okay.
Okay, Miss Jada Clay, you are charged with driving under the influence, improper lane change, open container, and no license. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of these warrants, or do you wish to have your warrants read aloud? We are streaming live.
Oh, you don't have to read them. I already.
Your bond is $7,000 and you must not violate any laws or out on bond. Are you able to make bond?
$7,000.
Yes.
Okay. And I don't know.
These are misdemeanors. What was that?
It's some way to a lower bond. I have a baby and she's our breastfeeder.
I understand. I've given you the lowest bonds available on each of these charges.
It's only, okay.
So do you wish your bond for DUI is 5,000, the improper lane change is 500, the open container is 500, and the license charge is 1,000. So that's a total of $7,000. Are you able to make bond, ma'am?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Is that a yes?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. These are misdemeanors, so you have the opportunity to waive your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
I really don't know what they mean by way my.
So I'm gonna set your preliminary hearing for December 8th at 8 a.m. I have appointed an attorney to represent you. If you and your lawyer decide that it makes sense to waive it, you can do that at that time. Or if you bond out, as I stated earlier, you will automatically waive it. But because you don't understand, which is fine, I'm gonna set you down for your preliminary hearing on December 8th. Okay, ma'am? Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Amber Hines should be next.
Can I find something? No, I can go back in.
Give me 1 second, Ms. Hines. Right now, you are charged with simple battery and reckless driving. Do you understand your charges and waive the formal reading of your accusations, or do you wish for me to read everything aloud? We are streaming live.
You can read.
Give me 1 second. You said I can waive it or read it.
I said you can read it, please.
It is accused that you committed the offense of simple battery when you intentionally made physical contact of an insulting or provoking nature when you struck Marquez Witcher with your navy blue Nissan Sentra. You also committed reckless driving when you disregarded the safety of another while driving in Clayton County, Georgia. Your bond is $7,000 and you are to stay away from Mr. Witcher and you must not violate any laws of auto bond. Are you able to make bond? I can't hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
These are misdemeanor offenses, so you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes.
Thank you. Please sign your waiver. Your next court date will come in the mail. Have a good day. Christine Murata.
Who you said, Judge?
Christine Murata, M-A-R-O-T-T-A.
That's you? Yes.
Are you Miss Murata? Are you Miss Murata?
I am.
You are charged with crossing a roadway other than at the crosswalk. You're charged with a felony count of possession of a Schedule I substance and use or possession of drug-related objects. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your affidavit, or do you wish to have your affidavit read aloud? We are streaming live.
No, you don't have to read it.
Your bond is $8,000 and you must not violate any laws on auto bond. Are you able to make bond, ma'am?
Right, speak up. Yes, no?
Yes, yeah, I think so.
Some of these charges are felonies, so as such, your next court date will be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day, ma'am.
Next one is Ms. McPhee.
Step in.
Mayor McAfee.
You said McAfee?
McAfee, yes.
Mayor McAfee.
All right.
Are you Ms. McAfee?
Yes, ma'am.
You are charged with theft by taking. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your warrantless arrest affidavit, or do you wish to have it read aloud? We are streaming live.
I understand.
Your bond is $2,000 and you must not violate any laws out on bond. Are you able to make bond?
Yes, ma'am. Can I buy myself up?
No. Not in the way that I was explaining in terms of an OR. You have a cash bond, so somebody, or $2,000 bond, someone would need to post that bond for you. So you're not able to bond out on your own recognizance. This is a misdemeanor charge of theft by taking, so you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
No, ma'am.
Your next court date will be December 8th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day.
Okay, you got-
Keisha Rawls, also known as Keisha Klobb. Keisha Rawls,
Yes, ma'am.
you are charged with improper lane change, driving under the influence, a violation of, 4 violations of the felony count of Georgia Controlled Substances Act, as well as theft by receiving stolen property. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your warrantless arrest affidavit, or do you wish to have it read aloud?
I waive it, ma'am.
You do not have a bond at this time based on your sentence of a probation, your status as a probationer. Your next court date will be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day, ma'am.
Come on, ladies. Y'all need to come up silent.
LaToysha Robertson or Roberson. Ma'am, you are charged with false reporting of a crime and obstruction of an officer. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your warrants, or do you wish to have your warrants read aloud? We are streaming live.
Understand. You can,
Bond is $7,000 and you must not violate any laws out on bond. Are you able to make bond, ma'am?
Yes.
These are misdemeanor offenses, so you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Please sign your waiver. Your next court date will come in the mail. Have a great day. Thank you. Next, we should have Danielle Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am. You were charged with battery, simple battery. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your charges, or do you wish to have it read aloud? We are streaming live.
I want it read aloud.
It's accused that you struck Michaela Williams in the face during a verbal argument, that you admitted to striking the victim after what you described as the victim talking crazy to you, that you also snatched the victim's cell phone from her hands, that this took place in Clayton County, and that she is your daughter. Your bond is $3,500. You must stay away from Michaela Williams. And you shall not return to 855 Mount Zion Road, apartment E8. It was indicated that that is your residence. As such, you can return with a sheriff's escort for the limited purpose of retrieving your personal property. However, you cannot go back to that property without a sheriff's escort until this matter is resolved or until that condition is modified by another judge. You must also not violate any laws out on bond. Are you able to make bond, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
This is a misdemeanor, so you have the option of waiving your it's okay. Just breathe. No, I don't want you to share more because you don't have your lawyer with you, but I want you to breathe, okay?
I got another kid.
I understand. But look, you got a bond. We're not gonna make this worse than it is. You got a bond. You said you're able to make bond. Your family can post bond. You have a lawyer. It's all right. I want you to have your head up. We're not gonna do this. Just breathe easy. It's gonna be all right, okay, ma'am?
She'd be able to leave the house and so I
I
could.
cannot make her leave the house, ma'am. She is the alleged victim. So talk to your lawyer, and your lawyer can talk to the judge about modifying that condition. This is as you've seen I've done with everybody else. This is something that we have to do as a policy, but you can talk with your lawyer about possibly getting that modified, okay, ma'am? So just breathe. It's gonna be all right. Now, what I need to ask you is, this is a misdemeanor, okay? So you have the option to waive your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing? Okay, so Ms. Williams, keep your head up, breathe. It's gonna be all right. Sign your waiver. You're gonna be okay, all right? Have a good day. That should be the last of our lady inmates, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, give me one moment while y'all are bringing out the mails. I need to update a few more pieces of documentation. So I'll stand by for 5 minutes.
Hey, sir, don't talk to say on. Let's go. Right side. Don't want to move on. Might be. What's that? What's your answer?
We are back on the record. Before we go on, Deputy Crawley, do we have Anthony Ball there? Or has he been brought up? Because he is an add-on, I believe, and he is a alleged fugitive. We'll take him last, so we have some time, but I wanted to make sure you knew we will be doing Anthony Ball today as well.
Yes, ma'am, I am up here.
Okay, perfect. So we're ready to continue on with the male inmates. We'll start with Deontay Allison.
He's on TV.
Thank you. And next should be Teron Burrows.
OTB.
Then we should have LaQuail Fortson. Is that who you have next?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Sir, you were charged with criminal damage to property in the 1st degree, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, including the children in the 3rd degree. Do you understand your charge and waive the formal reading of your warrants, or do you wish to have them read aloud? We are streaming live.
You read my warrant.
It is alleged that you did make an assault upon Capri Hooper you were in a verbal altercation with her. During the altercation, You were seen reaching into your vehicle to retrieve unknown objects. Cooper stated the objects were a long kitchen knife and a silver handgun with a black handle. You walked towards Cooper's car and punctured her tire. That you then walked towards Hooper, pointed the gun towards her face as you got closer. That you did this, and this was viewed in front of, that this was viewed on a neighbor's video surveillance. It is also alleged you pointed the gun at Miss Hooper while the daughter was in the back of the vehicle. As such, you are to stay away from Miss Hooper and Miss Fortson. You do not have a bond at this time. But like I said, should you get a bond, a condition of that bond will be to stay away from Miss Hooper and Miss Fortson. Your next court date will be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day. Next should be Roderick Harding. Roderick Harding.
No, I'm not.
Thank you. Sir, you're charged with criminal trespass. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your warrantless arrest affidavit, or do you wish to have it read aloud? We are streaming live.
I'm not sure that I was charged with criminal trespass.
So it's alleged that you committed the act of criminal trespass when you entered the room of your mother, Annie Prather, at the incident location, which is in South Lake Cove in court, that you entered the room, grabbed a picture and threw it to the ground, breaking the glass and frame. That you and your mother both live at the incident location. Your bond is $3,500. You're to stay away from Annie Prather. You cannot return to 801 South Lake Cove. Since it was indicated that that's your residence, what was that, sir?
Could you slow down, please? I didn't hear it. Could you say it again? I didn't hear it.
What did you not hear? You want me to start all the way over?
Please.
It is alleged that you committed the act of criminal trespass when you entered the room of your mother, Annie Prather, at the incident location at 801 South Lake Cove Court, that you entered the room, grabbed a picture, threw it to the ground, breaking the glass and the frame, that you and your mother live at this location. Your bond is $3,500. You are to stay away from Miss Prather. You cannot return to 801 South Lake Cove in Jonesboro. Since it was indicated that this is your residence, I will allow you with the sheriff's escort to return for the limited purpose of retrieving your personal property. However, you cannot go back to this property without an escort until this matter is resolved or until this condition is modified by another judge. You must also not violate any laws while out on bond. Are you able to make bond, sir?
Yes, is that a felony or a misdemeanor?
It's a misdemeanor.
How could I be
As
trespassing?
such, do you have the, it's a misdemeanor, you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Could you explain what that is?
No, sir, I've already explained it. So what I'm gonna do, since you still don't understand, which is fine, some people don't, I'm gonna set you down for a preliminary hearing to be had on December 8th at 8 a.m. in room 201. I have appointed an attorney to represent you. Your next court date, your lawyer may say it doesn't make sense to go forward. So you and your lawyer may end up waiving it, or you may bond out and waive it. But since you don't understand right now, I'm setting you down for December 8th. Okay, sir? Have a good day. Marlon Jackson should be next. Are you Mr. Marlon Jackson?
Should I take out the mask? Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sir, you are charged with pointing a pistol at another. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your affidavit, or do you wish to have it read aloud? We are streaming live.
It hasn't been read to me. And what was told to me by the officer that took me to jail was totally different.
So my question is, do you want me to read it or not? Is it a yes or no?
Did you say read it or waive it?
Do you want me to read it for you?
Yes, ma'am.
It's accused that you pointed a silver and pink Raven Arms .25 caliber gun towards your stepson, Trazion Watson, while in a verbal altercation. You then stated that you pulled out the firearm because Mr. Watson was walking towards your 2015 Chevy Cruze. This is an act of family violence because Mr. Watson is a stepson and this occurred in Clayton County. Nothing further. Your bond is $5,000 and you were to stay away from Tracy Ann Watson and you must not violate any laws of out on bond. Are you able to make bond, sir?
I don't have it on me today, but I do have someone to make bond for me.
Okay, this is a misdemeanor, so you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to have your preliminary hearing, sir?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
Okay, so please sign your waiver. Your next court date will come in the mail, okay?
Come on.
Thank you. Put your mask back on. Rasheem Kentish.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon. You are charged with expired tag, possession of marijuana less than an ounce, and obstruction of an officer. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your warrantless arrest affidavit, or do you wish to have it read aloud?
You can read it aloud because I didn't obstruct any officer, but the first two.
This is not that you are pleading guilty. I'm just asking, do you understand? But you want me to read it, and I'm happy to do that. It's accused that you entered into a road safety checkpoint with an expired registration. The officer alleges that they smelled a heavy odor of suspected marijuana emitting from inside of your vehicle. The officer placed you in safety restraints and recovered a bag of a leafy green substance, suspected marijuana, approximately 12.6 grams, that you placed your hands from the back to the front while being transported. Your bond is $3,000 and you shall not violate any laws of out on bond. Are you able to make bond, sir?
Ma'am.
This is a misdemeanor, or all three of these are misdemeanors, so you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to have your preliminary hearing? Do you wish to have your preliminary hearing? Okay, thank you. Please sign your waiver. Your next court date will come in the mail. Please put your mask over your nose, sir. Next should be Baby Matthews.
Hold on, Doug.
Okay.
I think you skip Green Alexander.
That's gonna be towards the end because we have a lot. We had to get his paperwork amended, but he's gonna be seen today. So I'm gonna just go in order. Some of these will be out of order, unlike the females, because we had to get some paperwork coming in. So, but I got them though.
Okay.
And thank you for bringing that to my attention, because if I do miss somebody, just let me know and I'll let you know if they're at the end or if I'm really missing them, okay?
Okay, so you said the next one is Matthews?
Yes, Baby Matthew. Baby Darnell.
All right. Oh shit, let's take my name off. Hold on.
All right, yes, hello?
Are you Mr. Matthews, Baby Darnell?
Yes.
You are charged with felony violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your warrantless arrest affidavit, or do you wish to have it read aloud? We are streaming live.
Oh, yes, you can read it.
It's alleged that you committed the offense in Clayton County when you're driving a 2008 BMW on Terra Boulevard. The officer observed that your tag has unknown insurance status. Your traffic stop was conducted. The offender vehicle the traffic stop was conducted on the offender vehicle, and during the stop, the officer received consent to perform a search of the vehicle. During the search, the officer observed 2 sealed plastic bags that read "Real OG Soul" on the front. Officers observed round candies in one of the bags and gummies in the other. Said offender did admit that the 2 bags contained THC oil-infused candy. Total weight was approximately 118 grams. This occurred in Clayton County, Georgia. This is a felony offense. Your bond is $6,000. You shall not violate any laws of out on bond. Are you able to make bond, sir?
Possibly.
Put the mask on your face.
Your next court date is January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day, sir. Next should be Denoris Meekins. Sir, you are charged with possession of a firearm by a felon, possession of marijuana less than an ounce, and improper backing. You are Denoris Meekins, correct?
No.
Do you wish for me to read your warrantless arrest affidavit aloud, or do you waive the reading? We are streaming live.
Can't read it.
It's alleged that you backed the vehicle improperly down a roadway. Sergeant Doyle found you to be in possession of a firearm and marijuana less than an ounce. You were convicted on September 25th, 2008 in Cook County, Illinois of aggravated child battery and murder. Your bond is $8,000 and you must not violate any laws on bond. Are you able to make bond?
Maybe yes.
Your next court date is January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day. Rufus Merrill.
Judge, you said Judge?
Rufus Merrill. That may be OTB. It's a license charge.
That's correct, OTB.
Thank you. Devin Odom.
Odom.
You're charged with giving a false name, address, or date of birth. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your accusation, or do you wish to have your warrantless arrest affidavit read aloud? We are streaming live.
Yes, ma'am, you can read it aloud.
It's alleged that you were a passenger in the 2001 Camry that was pulled over because the registration was expired, excuse me. Upon asking for your information, you provided with a false name of Prez Odom with the intent to misinform or mislead the officers as to your identity. Your bond is $3,500 and you must not violate any laws of out on bond. Are you able to make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing as this is a misdemeanor offense?
That's fine. We don't know.
Sign your waiver, not, it doesn't matter. You say yes, or it's a yes or no. Are you gonna waive it?
No. No,
And court date?
ma'am.
Sir, just answer my question. You said yes or no, it don't matter. Are you gonna waive or not? It's not a big deal if you do or don't. If you're gonna bond out, it's gonna be waived anyway. I need to know a yes or no. Do you wish to sign your waiver?
Yes.
Thank you. Please sign your waiver. Your next court date will come in the mail. Have a good day. Jalen Smith should be next.
Who you said, Judge? Okay,
Jalen Smith.
Okay, I got what's your name? I got Norfolk here, and Judge, I think you actually skipped it.
Norfolk, we're waiting on the paperwork for him. There's supposed to be an amendment, so we're waiting on that paperwork.
Okay, give me a minute, Judge.
Thank you for that update. So he needs to stand by, but I do want to see Jalen Smith next, if that's okay.
Okay. Jalen Smith.
Also, make sure you all let me know when we get to the inmates who have not had the first appearance read to them, okay?
Say that again, Judge, repeat it.
I know that Deputy Crawley said that there were some inmates who did not hear me read the speech. So when we get to that group of inmates, make sure you let me know so I can reread the speech.
That's fine. I'll buy you.
Thank you.
Mr. Davis. State your name for the judge.
Good morning, man.
Good afternoon. You're like me saying good morning. It's about 3 o'clock, but okay. So you're charged with carrying a concealed weapon. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your warrantless arrest affidavit, or do you wish for me to read it aloud? We are streaming live.
Yes, I understand that.
Your bond is $5,000 and you must not violate any laws out on bond. Are you able to make bond?
I should make.
I can't hear you, sir.
I should be able to, man. I have to call my family members to see.
This is a misdemeanor. You have the option to waive your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Could you explain that to me? What you mean by waive?
I can again. We got a long calendar. I've already explained it. If you don't understand, it's fine. Some people don't. And so I'm going to go ahead and set you down for your preliminary hearing. Your next court date will be December 8th at 8 a.m. in room 201. I have appointed an attorney to represent you. He or she may advise you to waive that preliminary hearing, or as you indicated, you may bond out. When you bond out, you will be in essence waiving it when you bond out. But for the time being, since you don't understand, I'm going to go ahead and set you down for December 8th. Okay. Thank you. Have a good day. Eric Spencer should be next. Mr. Spencer, you're charged with criminal trespass. Do you understand and waive the reading of your warrant, or do you wish to have your warrant read aloud? We are streaming live.
I understand.
Your bond is $3,500. You are to stay away from 2643 Cheney Street, which is the Sheraton House, and you must not violate any laws while out on bond. Are you able to make bond?
So you said I must stay away from where?
Were you at Sheraton House Apartments?
I'm not sure. I don't even know what those apartments are.
Okay, well, that's those apartments that where the alleged incident occurred. You are to stay away from there, okay? Now, my question for you was, are you able to make bond?
Yes.
7:30.
This is a misdemeanor. You have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing? Your next court date will be December 8th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day. Brooke Stevens? Are you Brooke Stevens?
Okay, he's medical.
Brooke Stevens is medical?
He's right here. Hold on, Judge. Okay, let's start off like that.
Mr. Stevens?
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir. You're Brooke Stevens, correct? You are charged with improper tag and no license violation. Since these are license and tag citations, I'm going to go ahead and allow you to sign out on your own recognizance, sir. Do you intend to follow to do that and sign out on your own recognizance? What that means is, as long as you don't violate any laws or out on bond, and as long as you show up to court, you don't have to pay any money to get out of jail. You understand? Since you indicated that you're going to sign out on your own recognizance, you can go ahead and sign your waiver as well, because once you bond out, you'll be waiving your preliminary hearing. So will you go ahead and sign your waiver as well, sir? Okay, thank you. Have a good day. Jayon Stinchcomb. You're charged with littering on the highway. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your affidavit? Now, I'm gonna tell you something. I've been living in Clayton County all my life. I do not like littering. All right. I hate it. But I'm gonna let you go out on your own recognizance. All right. Because you've been in jail for tonight. You've been here today. Probably want to go get some turkey. But please don't mess up where you live and where I live. Okay. And I'm not saying you did it. You're still presumed innocent. But this warrant said that you said you're sorry and you apologize. So I'm just going off of that. All right. So just let's keep Clayton County clean. People trying to come here and do good things with this. My community. I've been here my whole life and I despise littering. But we're gonna go ahead and let you get out on your OR. Okay. So you plan on signing yourself out?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So when you sign yourself out, as long as you come back to court, don't violate any laws, you should be straight. Okay. Without having to pay any money.
Okay.
Go ahead and sign your waiver. You have a happy Thanksgiving, okay?
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Hernandez Webb.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. You were charged with possession of marijuana less than an ounce, driving on a suspended license, giving a false name, age, or address or date of birth, or use of possession of drug-related objects. Do you understand your charges and waive the reading of your warrantless arrest affidavit, or do you wish to have it read aloud?
It's okay. I understand. I understand.
Okay, your bond is $8,000. You must not violate any laws on bond. Are you able to make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
These are misdemeanor offenses. This means you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing? That's yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Webb, you have a good Thanksgiving. Sign that waiver for me and write your name, because they don't be writing their name. Write your name at the top so I know it's yours. Have a good Thanksgiving. Your next court date will come in the mail, okay?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Robert Willis. Hey, how you doing, Mr. Willis? You were charged with battery family violence. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your warrant, or do you wish to have it read aloud? We are streaming live.
I understand.
Your bond is $3,500. You're to stay away from Symphony Nottage. You cannot return to 934 Garden Walk Boulevard, apartment 609. Do you still reside there with her?
She actually has purchased a home with her sister. Outside of that, that's my apartment signed in my name. So she's officially moved out.
Okay, because it's indicated that that you all share a residence, I'm gonna have to keep you from that residence. However, I will allow you to return with the sheriff's escort for the limited purpose of retrieving your personal property. So you can go back to that property with the sheriff's escort. However, you cannot go back to that property without a sheriff's escort until the matter is resolved or until that condition is modified by another judge. I have appointed a lawyer to represent you. Talk to your lawyer about those different conditions so that your lawyer may be able to get that condition modified so that you can go back there on a permanent basis, but you're not allowed to go back there because of the way the warrant reads until that matter is resolved or that condition is modified. Do you understand? You must also not violate any laws out on bond. Are you able to make bond?
I have a family member that can post it for me.
Okay. This is a misdemeanor, so you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Is that an option of just paying the bond?
So remember earlier I was saying that doesn't affect your ability to bond or not. But remember I said if you bond out, you're going to be waiving it anyway. That's that preliminary hearing. That's just the first stage. Your case is going to likely go forward to the state court either way. I'm just asking, do you wish to waive it today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please sign your waiver. Your next court date will come in the mail. Have a good day, okay, sir? Jason Wilson should be next.
Okay, hold on, just give me a minute, Judge.
Okay.
Okay, just if we call it, okay, this is the one that I think that she voted for. One of that, that's the one that's still married. What's up? What's up? All right, Judge, I got Mr. Wilson Jason here.
Thank you. Sir, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
You're charged with criminal trespass, loitering, and prowling. Do you understand? In violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act, which is a felony. Do you understand your charge and waive the formal reading of your charges, or do you wish to have them read aloud?
I put them behind your back, put the mask on.
Yes, sir. I understand my charges.
Okay, and you actually have 2 counts of violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so you understand you don't want me to wait. You don't want me to read your warrantless arrest affidavit, correct?
Correct.
All right, sir. Your bond is going to be $16,000. and you must not violate any laws or out on bond. Are you able to make bond, sir?
Through a bondsman or?
Any of the options that I provided earlier, that will either be through a bondsman, cash bond, or somebody posting a commercial bond. Do you believe you'll be able to make bond in any of those three methods, sir?
I hope so.
I understand. These are felony offenses. Well, some of them are misdemeanors, but you have 2 felonies. As such, I'm going to go ahead and set you down for a preliminary hearing for January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Okay, sir?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Just give me a minute. I should be right back with you.
Okay.
Okay, Judge, I got 4 guys remaining that did the first swearing, and the name is as follows. I got Mr. Davis. He's on the calendar. He's on the 25th calendar. I got Davis, Dennis, and Mr. Gant. They was on the first swearing. They were the last that remaining.
Davis, I know Gant is on. Hold on 1 second.
Yes, ma'am.
And tell me your name again, Deputy. I've been talking to Deputy Crawley, but what's your name again?
This is JPO Jones.
What you need to do?
No. I wanted to make sure I knew the whole team, the whole crew. I've only been talking to you. I do have Davis in the next stack. I have Gant in the next stack. And what's the name you had?
I had Davis, Dennis, Gant. They was in the first, group that swore in.
Right, but we're not to their paperwork yet. So we'll just call them in order. But I do have Davis, I do have Gant, and Dennis. So they're going to be in the next set. So
Okay.
they'll just have to sit tight.
Okay, so I think we finished the first swearing. So we're coming to the second.
Okay, are they ready or you need time to get them out?
I will bring them out so they can swear in.
Okay, give me a moment. I'll just stand by.
Okay,
Let me know when y'all are ready.
okay. Ricardo, you want to do 11.
Judge, we're ready.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Please raise your right hands. Do you swear or affirm that the information that you will give the court this afternoon, I should say, as well as any information in your application for court-appointed counsel will be true and correct to help you? If so, say I do. All right. It's important that everyone can hear me. You can put your hands down. Can everybody hear me okay? Awesome. This is your first appearance before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County. We are not here to try your case or to take a plea. You are here for me to inform you of the charges that are brought against you. I'm going to advise you of your rights. I'm going to set bail on the offenses for which the court is authorized to set bail. I'm going to schedule a preliminary hearing for some of you, and I'm here to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney. During this and all other proceedings, you have the right to remain silent and say nothing. Should you give up this right, anything you say during this proceeding may be used against you if this case goes to trial. Here and at all other proceedings, you have the right to the presumption of innocence until the state proves your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to a speedy and public trial by jury. You have the right to indictment by grand jury or for felonies or accusation for misdemeanors. You have the right to see, hear, and cross-examine witnesses who are brought to testify against you. You also have the right to call witnesses on your own behalf and compel that appearance by subpoena. You have the right to testify and offer evidence in your own defense should you choose to do so. However, should you choose not to do so, no presumption of guilt may be raised. You have the right to have an attorney represent you, and it is the policy of this court to appoint each of you a court-appointed attorney. However, you always have the right to represent yourself or to hire private counsel. Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds pending your release while your case is being prosecuted. This bond may be cash, commercial, or property. If you post a cash bond, someone will deliver the full amount of bond in cash to the sheriff's department, who will hold it until your case is resolved, and that cash bond will be returned to the person who posted your bond. Some of you may use a commercial bonding company to post bond, and that company may take up to 15% of your bond as the fee for their service. That will not be returned. Please do not ask me to do any math as to how much that's going to be, what I got to pay them. I'm sorry, I'm not being funny. I'm not good at math, so I don't know. I'm not doing any math today. So you just know you can use a bonding company. They may charge anywhere between 10 to 15% of the total bond as their fee. Someone could also post property on your behalf. That property bond must have at least 3 times the amount of equity to qualify. So if you have a bond of $2,000, the property must have at least $6,000 in equity to qualify as a property bond. Everyone here will have special conditions on their bond. At minimum, you will not be permitted to violate any laws out on bond. You may also have additional conditions that prohibit you from going around certain people or certain places, and you will be made known of those special conditions today during this first appearance. Should you violate the court's order and get new charges or violate by going around certain people at certain places, you will not be entitled to a new bond and your bond will be revoked. You may also be having new charges that are influencing a witness, aggravated stalking, or such other charge as the law may provide, and you could be facing up to 10 years in prison or $20,000 fine. So please understand that these special conditions are to be taken seriously and shall not be violated. If you have family members who are assisting you, they should wait till the conclusion of this calendar before trying to post your bond on your behalf. If your family member is the alleged victim, he or she will not be allowed to post a bond on your behalf. Some of you are charged with offenses for which the court is not authorized to set bail, or you are on probation and you are not eligible for a bond at this time. The matter of bond will be reconsidered by another judge at the appropriate time, and that does occur often during a preliminary hearing. Please listen up, because the preliminary hearing conversation is very important for those of you who are facing misdemeanors only. The purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine if there is enough evidence or probable cause to keep you detained until your case goes to trial. If you are charged with misdemeanors only, You have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. This does not affect your right to a trial. It does not affect your right to post bond, and it does not affect your right to an attorney. You're merely moving your matter along quicker through the court system if you waive your preliminary hearing. If you post a bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived. I'll say that once more. If you post a bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived, and you will be mailed a court date on when you should appear next in court. If you cannot make bond, you can still waive your preliminary hearing if you are facing misdemeanors only to move your matter along, and you will be brought before a state court judge where you would be sentenced if you plead guilty, or you will be set down for trial if you plead not guilty. This is only available to those of you who are facing misdemeanors only. We're going to take the calendar in order. We are streaming live on YouTube. I'm going to ask each of you, after I read your charges, if you wish to waive the reading of your affidavit or accusation. If you waive the reading, we won't go into the details. If you want me to read it aloud, I will read aloud your warrantless arrest affidavit or your warrant for you. Please know we're streaming live on YouTube. Some people choose not to have it read. Some people do. I have no opinion on it, but be prepared to answer my questions when you come before me. We will take Amir Bernard first. Amir Bernard.
Amir Bernard?
Amir Bernard.
Go ahead, let you see.
Is he not there?
Yeah,
He should be. He's
Yeah, I got-
charged.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, thank you. And you all said we're gonna do Mr. Betts last, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna take him out of the stack.
Bernard. Bernard. Hold me right there.
Mr. Bernard, you are charged with escape and interference with government property. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your WAA, or do you wish to have it read aloud? We are streaming live.
Ma'am?
Do you wish for me to read your warrant, or you understand your charges and waive the reading?
Read them to me.
It stated that you did intentionally escape the confinement of your cell, that you interfered with government property by obstructing the lock for blocking, and you tried to aid in your escape to unlawfully exit the cell. This was witnessed by 2 correctional officers. You do not have a bond at this time. Your next court date will be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day. Jonathan Daniels should be next.
Okay, hold on 1 second, John.
Go back, face the wall.
Yeah.
Face the wall, face the wall.
Daniels.
Stand in front of the judge, state your name.
Jonathan Daniels.
Put down behind your back.
Are you charged with escape and interference with government property? You do understand your charge and waive the reading of your affidavit, or do you wish to have it read aloud?
I don't understand.
It's alleged that you did interfere with government property by obstructing the locking mechanism from locking, by manipulating the lock to aid in your escape of the unlawful exit of your cell. This was witnessed by 2 correctional officers. You do not have a bond at this time. Your next court date will be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day. Markel Darden should be next. You're charged with escape and interference with government property. Are you Mr. Darden?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your affidavit, or do you wish to have it read aloud?
Oh, you can read it aloud, please.
It is alleged that you interfered You intentionally escaped your cell by interfering with government property, obstructing the locking mechanism by trying to escape, and this was witnessed by 2 officers. You do not have a bond at this time. Your next court date will be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day. David Smiley.
He's coming up, y'all.
David Smiley.
John.
Is he already out?
Yeah, he's coming up.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name is
Hi,
David.
you're charged with license violation and improper passing of an emergency vehicle. I'm going to go ahead and allow you to sign out on your own recognizance since these are traffic offenses. Do you intend to sign yourself out based on the court's indication that you can sign yourself out on bond?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. As long as you don't violate any laws while out on bond, you do not have to pay any money to get out. Do you understand, sir? I can't hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please sign your waiver. Your next court date will come in the mail. Have a good day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jamar Davis.
Jamal Davis. Walk straight up to the podium, take the name now.
Jamar Davis.
Yes, I can't. I can't see him. Is he in front of me?
Right here.
Okay. So you're charged with use or possession of drug-related objects, fleeing from a police officer as a misdemeanor, obstruction of an officer as a misdemeanor, possession of firearm by a felon, a felony count of violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act, a felony count of theft by receiving stolen property, a misdemeanor of possession of marijuana less than an ounce, and use or possession of drug-related objects. Do you wish for, do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your affidavit, or do you wish for me to read it out loud?
No, I understand.
Your bond is $29,500 and you must not violate any laws or out on bond. Are you able to make bond, sir?
Yes.
Your next court date is going to be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day, okay?
You said January what? I'm sorry.
January 6th at 8 a.m. You're welcome. Tashir Danique. Tashir Danique or Danique or Denike.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You are charged with reckless conduct. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your affidavit, or do you wish to have it read aloud? We are streaming live.
I wish I had it read aloud.
Give me 1 second. You are charged with committing the offense of reckless conduct when you endangered the safety of other persons and when you pulled a weapon and started shooting inside the apartment complex of 701 Mount Zion Road. The incident occurred in Clayton County, Georgia. Your bond is $10,000 and you must not violate any laws of auto bond. Are you able to make bond?
I'm not sure.
This is a misdemeanor offense. You have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Please sign your waiver. Your next court date will come in the mail. Have a good day. Bryant Dennis should be next. Or you're charged of criminal trespassing. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your affidavit, or you wish to have it read aloud?
You can wait.
Okay, your bond is $3,500. You're to stay away from Shakarla Poe. You shall not return to 2802 South Lake Cove Court. It was indicated that that is a shared residence, that you are also a resident there. As such, you can return with a sheriff's escort for the limited purpose of retrieving your personal property. However, you cannot go back to that property without a sheriff's escort until the matter is resolved or until that condition is modified by another judge. You must also not violate any laws out on bond. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you able to make bond?
What again?
$3,500.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you, this is a misdemeanor, so you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing? Thank you. Please sign your waiver. Your next court date will come in the mail. Have a good day, sir. Next should be Charles Gant.
Coming, Judge.
Thank you. Are you charged with reckless conduct? Do you understand your charge and waive the formal reading of your affidavit, or you wish to have it read aloud? What was that?
I understand.
Your bond is $10,000 and you shall not violate any laws of out on bond. Are you able to make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
This is a misdemeanor. You have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Please sign your waiver. Your next court date will come in the mail. Have a good day.
Okay,
Gary,
Judge.
Gary.
Okay, Judge, I got Mr. Ford Aking.
Oh, yes. Give me 1 second.
Okay, ma'am. What's forget? Ooh, Lord. Joker. Right, go ahead, go ahead. Go ahead, go ahead. Huh? You know, for the paperwork. Yeah, just out the paperwork. And then I gave mine in the letter. Said I want to thank you. I said, I think I'm going to you know, whether you have it. I don't know if you're right now. Why you were nervous? Everything in the feed has this here, that enough. Christmas, the main thing for all citizens.
We are back on the record with the King Ford.
Yes, ma'am. He's coming.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, good afternoon. You are charged with a tag light violation and theft by receiving stolen property. Do you understand your charge and waive the formal reading of your affidavit, or do you wish for me to read it aloud?
I understand.
You do not have a bond at this time. Should you get a bond, a condition of your bond, well, no, you don't have a bond at this time based on your condition as a probationer, as well as the open status of several pending charges. Your next court date will be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day. Next should be Tauheed Gary.
Yes, ma'am. Dang. All right, Mr. Gary. Put the mask on. Stand in front, state the name out. And behind your back.
Sir, you are charged with escape and interference with government property. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of the warrant arrest affidavit, or you wish to have it read aloud?
Yes.
You want me to read it?
Yes, ma'am.
It's alleged that you intentionally escaped the confinement of your cell. Offender White interfered with government property, obstructing the locking mechanism from locking by manipulating the lock to aid in the escape to unlawfully exit the cell. The incident was witnessed by 2 correctional officers. You do not have a bond at this time. Your next court date will be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day.
Green.
Montez Green.
What's up, justice, young man? So before the podium and state the name.
Montez Green.
Okay. Give me 1 second. So you were charged with escape and interference with government property. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of the affidavit, or do you wish to have it read aloud?
I understand.
You do not have a bond at this time. Your next court date will be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day.
Gum, Alexander. Alexander Gum. Put the mask on.
Alexander Gunn.
Stand before the podium, you have back and state the name.
Alexander Gunn.
So you're charged with escape and interference with government property. Do you understand and waive the reading, or you wish to have your warrant read aloud?
Yes, ma'am.
You want me to read it, or you understand?
I understand.
You do not have a bond at this time. Your next court date will be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day. Sean Harris.
Who's You say, ma'am? Harris?
Chauncey Harris, yes.
Damn, Harris. Trying to say Harris. What's the name of the guy over there? Looking for Harris. Johnson Harris. One guy.
Yes, Chauncey Harris.
Okay, just give us a minute.
Okay.
Last name Harris. Johnson Harris. Last name Harris. 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 Adam Harris. The front, state your name to the judge now. You have to name your last.
Chauncey Harris.
Yes, good afternoon, sir. You are charged with battery family violence. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your warrant, or do you wish to have your warrant read aloud? We are streaming live.
I wanna waive it.
Your bond is $3,500. You are to stay away from Treante Hartnett. You can not return to 3290 Weatherwood Way. And you must not violate any laws on auto bond. Are you able to make bond?
Yes.
This is a misdemeanor. You have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Please sign your waiver. Your next court date will come in the mail. Have a good day. Mantonia Johnson should be next.
He's up here, John.
What you say?
I'm starting my JPO.
You submitted, Judge. We get it in.
Thank you.
Johnson.
Six.
Stand before the judge and state your name loud.
Natalia Johnson.
Sir, you're charged with escape and interference with government property. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your warrantless arrest affidavit, or do you wish to have it read aloud?
I wish to have it read aloud.
It's accused that you were incarcerated, intentionally escaped from the confinement of your cell. Offender White interfered with the government property, obstructing the locking mechanism from locking by manipulating the lock to aid in your escape, so unlawfully exit the vehicle. This was witnessed by 2 correctional officers. You do not have a bond at this time. Your next court date will be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day, sir. Cameron Jones.
Cameron Jones. Put your hands on your face. Stand in front of the judge. We have down your back and state your name. State your name to the judge.
Cameron Jones.
Sir, you're charged with escape and interference with government property. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your warrantless arrest affidavit, or do you wish to have it read aloud?
Say it again.
What was that?
I said, can you say it again?
Do you wish for me to read your warrantless arrest affidavit, or do you waive the reading of the affidavit?
Can you read it to me?
Yes, it's accused that you, while incarcerated at Clayton County Detention Center, did intentionally escape from the confinement of your cell. The offender White interfered with government property, obstructing the locking mechanism from locking by manipulating the lock to aid in your escape to unlawfully exit the cell. This was witnessed by 2 correctional officers. You do not have a bond at this time. Your next court date will be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Michael Jones.
Yeah, go ahead and state your name and last name.
Michael Jones, right here.
Sir, you're charged with escape and interference with government property. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your accusation, or do you wish to have it read aloud?
Yes, I understand.
You do not have a bond at this time. Your next court date will be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day. Tyreek Lee.
Okay, Judge, I got the next person, the Leroy Deter Love. Leroy.
No, Tyreek Lee is next, and then Leroy Love.
You shouldn't be. John.
Okay, who you say next? Okay, Lee.
Yes, Tyreek Lee.
Lee. Yeah, put the mask on. Stand with your hand behind your back and state your name to the judge.
Tyreek Lee.
Yes, sir. You're charged with escape and interference with government property. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your affidavit, or do you wish for your affidavit to be read aloud?
Can it be read out loud, please?
Yes, it's accused that you, while in the Clayton County Detention Center, intentionally escaped the confinement of your cell. Offender Y interfered with the government property, obstructing the locking mechanism from locking by manipulating the lock to aid in your escape. That this was witnessed by 2 officers. Your bond, you do not have a bond, excuse me. Your next court day, however, will be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day, sir. Leroy Love should be next.
Go. No, keep your mask on, state your name out to the judge, keep your hand behind your back.
Hey, how you doing, Judge? My name is Leroy Love.
I'm well, thank you for asking. Your charges are criminal trespass, robbery, and battery family violence. Give me 1 second. Do you understand your charges and waive the reading of your warrants, or do you wish to have your warrants read aloud? We are streaming live.
All right.
You waived it?
Could you
Or
ask
you want it read?
You can read it.
I can't hear you, sir.
So you can read it.
It's accused that you did with the intent to commit theft, take an iPhone XR from Princess Brown by snatching it. That is a felony. It is also accused that you did intentionally snatch her, snatch it out of her hand, causing her left fingernail to be forcibly removed from her nail bed. That is a misdemeanor. It is also accused that you did take her clothing and personal belongings and threw them in the dumpster. That is a misdemeanor. Your bond is $17,000. You're to stay away from Princess Brown. You shall not return to 705 Chase Village Drive in Jonesboro, Georgia. You must not violate any laws on bond. Since it was indicated that that is your residence, you can return to that residence with a sheriff's escort for the limited purpose of retrieving your personal property. However, you cannot go back to that property unescorted without a sheriff's escort until this matter is resolved until this condition is modified by another judge. Do you understand? Are you able to make bond?
Yes, I can pay bond.
Your next court date is going to be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day. Next should be Kato.
Kato. Put the mask on. Stand before the judge and state the name out. You have behind your back.
Are you Mr. Maddox?
Yes, ma'am.
You were charged with escape and interference with government property. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your affidavit, or do you wish to have it read aloud?
I wait right.
Say it again, sir.
I wait.
You do not have a bond at this time. Your next court date is going to be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day. Jeremy McMichael.
State your name to the judge.
Jeremy McMichael.
McMichael, you were charged with driving on a suspended license. I'm going to give you an OR on that charge since it is a license charge. That means you will not have to pay any money to get out of jail as long as you don't violate any laws and return to your court date as instructed. You will not have to pay any money. Do you intend to bond yourself out and sign yourself out based on this bond condition of an OR? I can't hear you.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay, so please sign yourself out, and you can also sign your affidavit, your waiver, and your next court date will come in the mail, okay?
So much.
You're welcome. Miles,
Put the mask on your face, sir. Stand before the podium. We have behind your back and state your name to the judge.
Sebastian, ma'am.
are you charged with escape and interference with government property? Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of this affidavit, or do you wish to have it read aloud? We are streaming live.
I understand.
You do not have a bond at this time. Your next court date will be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day, sir.
Stop right here, sir.
Alexander Perez,
Correct? Right. Stand before the judge and state your name loud.
Alexander Perez.
you are charged with escape and interference with government property. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of the affidavit, or do you wish to have your affidavit read aloud? It is alleged that you, while in Clayton County Detention, intentionally escaped from the confinement of your cell. That offender Y interfered with the government property, obstructing the lock mechanism from locking by manipulating the lock to aid in your escape to unlawfully exit the cell. This incident was witnessed by 2 correctional officers. You do not have a bond on these charges. Your next court date will be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day. Wayman Reese should be next. Wayman Reese.
Reese?
Yes.
Stand before the judge and state your name loud.
Wayman Reese.
Are you charged with driving on a suspended license? I'm going to allow you to do an OR, which means, can you please button your shirt all the way up?
I was trying to get another one because the buttons.
Okay. Well, you're about to get out because I'm going to allow you to get out on your own recognizance. That means as long as you don't violate any laws or out on bond, you sign yourself out and you can come back without having to pay any money. Do you understand?
Yes,
Is it your intention to sign yourself out?
yes.
Okay, so please sign that waiver of a preliminary hearing, and your next court date will come in the mail, okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Sure.
Cody Scotland or Scalone?
The mask on, though. Put the mask in your face. Cody. State your name loud to the judge.
Cody Edward Scotland.
So you're charged with escape and interference with government property. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your accusation, or do you wish to have your accusation read aloud?
Oh, no, I don't understand.
It is alleged that you, while incarcerated in the Clayton County Jail, you intentionally escaped from the confinement of your cell. Offender White interfered with government property, obstructing the locking mechanism from locking by manipulating the lock to aid in your escape to unlawfully exit the vehicle. That this was witnessed by 2 correctional officers. You do not have a bond on these charges. Your next court date will be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day. Markel Scott.
Markel Scott. Put the mask on your face, sir. Button up. Stand with the judge. Stand behind your back and state your name. Stand behind your back. State your name to the judge.
Markel Scott.
Sir, you're charged with escape and interference with government property. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your accusation, or do you wish to have your affidavit read aloud?
No,
You do not have a bond at this time on these charges. Your next court date will be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day. Justin Simmons.
Justin Simmons. Yes, sir. State your name to the judge, put your hand behind your back.
What's your name?
Justin Simmons.
Or you're charged with escape and interference with government property. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your affidavit, or do you wish to have it read aloud?
Regular here, man.
Say that, I'm sorry.
I have my court. I regular court date.
Okay, so I'm asking if you want me to read your affidavit. I'm sorry if I wasn't clear. Do you want me to read the affidavit, or do you waive the reading of the affidavit?
I want you to read it, man.
It is accused that you, while incarcerated, did intentionally escape from the confinement of your cell. Offender Y interfered with the government property, obstructing the lock mechanism by locking it, by manipulating the lock to aid in your escape to unlawfully exit the cell. This was witnessed by 2 correctional officers. You do not have a bond on these charges. Your next court date will be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day. Jerron Turner or Garen Turner? Jerron Turner or Garen Turner?
Turner. Time for the judge, state the name, put your hand behind your back.
Gant Turner.
Or you're charged with escape and interference with government property. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your warrantless arrest affidavit, or do you wish to have it read aloud?
I wish to have it read aloud.
It's accused that you, while in Clayton County Detention Center, intentionally escaped from the confinement of your cell. Offender Y interfered with the government property, obstructing the locking mechanism from locking by manipulating the lock to aid in your escape to unlawfully exit the cell. You do not have a bond on these charges. Your next court date will be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day.
Cool.
James Tyler.
James. He's coming, Judge.
Thank you.
And the court just take your name out to the judge.
Can I take my mask off?
No, you can have on.
My name is James Tyler.
Sir, you're charged with battery. Do you understand your charge and waive the affidavit reading, or do you wish for me to read your affidavit aloud? We are streaming live.
I understand.
Your bond is $3,500. You were to stay away from James J. Tyler. You cannot return to 6972 Tan Bark Court. It was indicated that that is your residence. As such, you can go back to that property with a sheriff's escort for the limited purpose of retrieving your personal property. However, you cannot go back to that property without a sheriff's escort until this matter is resolved or until that condition is modified by another judge. You must also not violate any laws out on bond. Are you able to make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
This is a misdemeanor, so you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Please sign your waiver. Your next court date will come in the mail. Have a good day.
Excuse me.
What was that?
When I can't return, my mail normally comes to 6972 Tan Bark Court. So
Okay.
I can get that mail and make sure I get that court date.
No, sir. What you can do though is let wherever you are going, like I said, I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you, so they may get that condition modified by another judge. In the event that condition is not modified, you need to just make sure that the clerk is aware of where your next address is, and they will make sure that your court date is noticed or mailed to that place. So unless you go back with a sheriff's escort to retrieve your mail, you cannot go back and forth to that property, okay? And you're supposed to go at least 10 days after your release, so you can't just go willy-nilly. Does that make sense, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have a good day.
All right, thank you.
Oh, I was asking you a question and you asked me a question, which is fine. My question for you is, do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes, ma'am. I said yes.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead and sign your waiver and your next court date. Oh yeah, because we talked about the court date coming in the mail. I'm sorry, brother. It's been a long day. Have a good day, okay? Ian Ward should be next.
You should be.
Yes.
Podium, take your name out to the judge, behind your back.
In Ward, yeah. Yeah, taking it off the drug. In Ward.
Sir, you're charged with pimping. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of the warrant, or do you wish me to read your warrant aloud? We are streaming live.
No, ma'am.
Don't read it.
No, ma'am.
Your bond is $3,500, and you shall not violate any laws on auto bond. Are you able to make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing? This is a misdemeanor offense.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Please sign your waiver. Your next court date will come in the mail. Have a good day. Cornelius Wildner.
Cornelius Wildner. What's up, Johnson? Taking that law to the judge. We have to hand it back.
Sir, you are charged with escape and interference with government property. Do you understand your charge and waive the formal reading of this accusation, or you wish to have it read aloud?
Yes, ma'am.
You want me to read it, or you understand? You do not have a bond at this time on these charges. Your next court date will be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day. Brian White.
White, Brian. Taking that off to the judge, we hand it back.
So you're charged with escape and interference with government property. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your warrantless arrest affidavit, or do you wish to have it read aloud?
I understand.
You do not have a bond at this time on these charges. Your next court date will be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day, sir. Robert White. Robert White.
Yes, ma'am, he's coming.
Thank you.
We have that back.
Do we have an update on Norfolk? Mr. White, you are charged with criminal trespass, crossing a guard line, and inmate with guns, drugs, or alcohol. Do you understand these charges and waive the reading of your warrantless arrest affidavit, or do you wish to have it read aloud?
No, ma'am. No,
No, ma'am, you don't understand, or you understand you don't want it read?
I understand. I don't want to.
Your bond is your bond is $17,000. You must not violate any laws out on bond. Are you able to make bond?
Period.
No, ma'am.
Your next court date is going to be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Some of these are felony offenses, so you cannot waive your preliminary hearing. Have a good day, sir. Thank you. Alexander Green. You're charged with simple battery and criminal trespass, damage to property. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your warrants, or do you wish to have your warrants read aloud? We are streaming live. What was that?
I understand.
Your bond is $7,000. You are to stay away from Alexia Green. You could not return to 6030 Riverdale Road in Atlanta, Georgia. It was indicated on the warrant that that is your residence. As such, you can return with a sheriff's escort for the limited purpose of retrieving your personal property. However, you cannot go back to that property until this matter is resolved or until that condition is modified by another judge. You must also not violate any laws out on bond. You understand, sir?
I have a question. That's also my place of employment as well. I do apartment maintenance.
So you're not able to go back to apartment 9304.
Okay.
So that you won't be providing maintenance for that apartment. I'm not going to tell you can't go to work. I'm telling you, you are to stay away from her. If she's at your work and you see her, you need to go the other way. Okay. But as far as the specific apartment, you are not allowed to be in it at all. As long as your residence, you can go back with a sheriff's escort to retrieve your personal property, but don't be back in that apartment or don't be around her in any capacity outside of the apartment or elsewhere, or not, because that will be a direct violation of the court's order. Do you understand?
I got another question. So that's my sister, and we have a funeral to go to this weekend. So that's kind of like.
Sir, you will not be allowed to be around her. If you're around her, it is a violation of the court's order.
Okay.
I have appointed an attorney to represent you. You want to talk to the lawyer about getting that modified, you can go ahead and consider doing that. But I'm telling you, under no uncertain terms, based on the charges, you are not allowed to be around her. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. And how much is my bond again?
Your bond is $7,000. I am going to write that you can go to work as long as you stay away from the apartment and from the alleged victim.
Okay.
You said you are able to
Yes, ma'am.
make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
These are misdemeanors, so you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
No, ma'am.
Your next court date will be December 8th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day.
Just stand right here. Facing the wall. Judge,
Yes.
I got Obi Cruz.
Yes, he's next.
Okay, Mr. Cruz, come on. You will state the name to the judge, you have to hand it back.
Mr. Cruz, give me one moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Was you with him?
No, she went to vet the paperwork. That's Cruz, Obi. All right. Then the last one we have is 6. More. Yeah, he hasn't seen the judge yet. Yeah. When you're ready.
Mr. Cruz, you are charged with criminal damage to property in the second degree and obstruction of an officer. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your warrantless arrest affidavit, or do you wish to have it read aloud?
Read it out loud, please.
Yes, it is alleged that you did cause damage to your mother, victim, Nicole Obi's residence by damaging the interior of her house. You allegedly damaged the walls by writing and punching holes in the walls in the bedroom, living room, basement, bathroom, hallway, which was valued at $5,000. It's alleged you then broke 3 TVs, a Panasonic, an Insignia, and a Maxent within the residence by breaking the screens, valued at $3,000, total damage of $8,000. It said that you admitted to causing damage to the residence verbally due to you losing it that morning. It's alleged that you then tried to willfully resist arrest by tensing up your body and refusing to put your hands behind your back after being advised you're being under arrest by a law enforcement officer. You and the victim are mother and son that reside in the same household, causing this to fall under family violence. Your bond is $10,000 and you must not violate any laws while out on bond. You are to stay away from Ms. Obi. You cannot return to 12259 Crestwood Court. And you, as I stated, you must not violate any laws while out on bond. Are you able to make bond?
Do I have to make it immediately, or can I go to work and everything? Because I'm not sure.
Go to work where, sir? You're not going to be able to go to work. If your question is, can you get out and pay the money later? The answer is no. The way bond works is you pay your bond and then you're released. So my question for you is, are you able to pay your bond?
How much is it?
It's $10,000.
We're allowed to, I think that we were told that it would be a percentage, right? Is that?
Yes. You can use a bonding company that may charge a percentage as a fee. I don't know what that percentage will be. You can also have somebody post cash bond, which will bring a full $10,000, or you could have somebody post property which would be $30,000 if the property has equity of $30,000. So the answer to my question is yes or no, sir. Are you able to make bond?
Yes or no, sir? Yes or no?
Mr. Obi, your next court date is going to be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day, sir. Marquez Moki should be next.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
So the master in faith, button up the jumpsuit, man, station to the judge law and clear.
Good afternoon, Mr. Moki. You are charged with escape, interference with government property. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your warrantless arrest affidavit, or do you wish to have it read aloud?
Yeah, loud.
You alleged that while you were incarcerated in Clayton County Detention Center, that you intentionally escaped from the confinement of your cell. Offender White interfered with the government property, obstructing the locking mechanism from locking by manipulating the lock to aid in your escape to unlawfully exit the cell. This was witnessed by 2 correction officers. You do not have a bond at this time on these charges. Your next court date is going to be January 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day. So you all should have Norfolk and the add-on of Ball, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm trying to get a status on Norfolk. The officer was supposed to amend the warrant. I'm going to email Latasha briefly. Give me 1 second.
Those two go back. All right, and then you got other unit 4, the admin. Yeah, but I could call and let them pick them up. So who did 53? Okay, white guy, black guy, and that's you go to medical. All right, so let me call. Oh God, it's a long day. Long day, Jefferson. Your folks there, bro. Those are your people.
All right. So the warrant has been updated for Mr. Norfolk, but because we're waiting for them to get it over for me, we're going to go ahead and do Mr. Ball's extradition first, and then we can go from there. Okay. So let's go ahead and bring Mr. Anthony Ball before the court.
Oh, even 7, I think. Yo, go ahead. Yo. Go, go, go. What? Go. I think these folks are blood. I'm done with it. I'm done. From us.
Are you Mr. Ball?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, good afternoon. You are here for what's called an extradition hearing. All the rights that I advised everyone of earlier apply to your case, but your hearing is a little different in that you do not have charges pending here in Clayton County. You have been brought to court today because you have charges pending against you in another state, and they are requesting that you return to the state to answer these charges. You've already stated that you are Anthony Ball, and do you have an attorney representing you, Mr. Ball?
No, ma'am.
You are charged with being a fugitive from justice as follows: that you entered and remained in the state of Georgia knowing that you were a felon out of Hinds County, Mississippi, for possession of marijuana with intent to distribute. They are indicating that they will extradite you. This hearing is being conducted. Excuse me 1 second.
Oh, disregard. And I could pick the 83. See the 83. Yeah, they don't have no excuse. Is Officer Cool? Oh, Fullerton. Listen, I have the.
All right, I may have to take a quick call from my secretary, but I'll excuse me, my judicial assistant, but I'll keep going until we get that. So as I stated, this is a hearing being conducted pursuant to OCGA Title 17, Chapter 13. As you have heard, it's alleged that you are charged with possession of marijuana with intent out of the state of Mississippi. You have a choice as to whether you wish to return to Mississippi or if you wish to be returned without you have a choice as to whether you wish to contest extradition or to waive extradition and be returned to the state without going through a formal extradition process. So you have two options. You can go through a formal extradition process, or you can waive it and just voluntarily return to the state of Mississippi. If you decide that you wish to contest extradition, the court may commit you to the county jail for an initial period of 30 days. During that time, a warrant will be prepared under the governor's signatures for your extradition to the other state. The court may consider allowing you to post a bond, but the court is not required to allow a bond in your case. As you are wanted by another jurisdiction, I am not setting a bond in your case at this time. If you do not wish to voluntarily return to the state of Mississippi, you may file a writ of habeas corpus to contest the extradition. Now, the writ can only contest 4 things. First, whether the extradition documents are in order on their face. Second, whether you are charged with a crime that actually exists in the state of Mississippi. Whether you are the person named in the request for extradition. And 4, whether you are in fact a fugitive from justice. You cannot contest the issue of guilt or innocence here in Georgia. You are entitled to the advice of counsel. If the state is unable to extradite you within 30 days, you may be committed to the county jail for an additional 60 days awaiting your extradition. If the extradition is not completed in 90 days, then you will be released. Do you wish to voluntarily return to the state of Mississippi to face these charges and allegations of possession of marijuana with intent?
What, voluntarily?
Yes.
That's the best thing to do? Yeah.
I can't tell you if it's the best thing to do. I can tell you if you voluntarily return, then you will not have to be, the state will come and retrieve you. That usually occurs sooner. If you don't voluntarily return, you will have an actual hearing. The governor will sign a warrant for them to come retrieve you, and it may be a little bit of a longer process, but they will go through and see those 4 things. Are you Anthony Ball? Is there an actual charge in the state of Mississippi? And that's going to be what they look at. They're not going to look at whether you're guilty or innocent in determining whether or not they're going to extradite you. Do you wish to voluntarily return, or do you wish to have an extradition hearing?
No, I'll voluntarily return.
Okay, there will be several waivers for you to sign in front of you. Please sign those waivers and then you'll be good to go, okay?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Have a good day.
So I'm saying like how long would that take?
It usually depends. They have up to 90 days to come and retrieve you. If they don't get you within 90 days, you will be released.
Up to 90 days?
Yes.
All right.
That's both ways. If whether you waive or not, they have up to 90 days to come get you.
All right.
So it just sometimes happens. It sometimes moves quicker if you waive it. That I'm just saying, but they have 90 days in both scenarios to come get you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Have a good day, sir.
All right.
Thank you. So we should, I'm waiting one more moment for Mr. Norfolk. Y'all stand by until I get that paperwork. I'm gonna make a quick call in the interim.
See it. Keep it like this.
Where? I got you. Listen, when you go into the rooms, somebody will still come out.
All right, what we got next time?
I'm waiting for someone to pick you up and take you back. You already gone already? I already called for you to fill the form. I'll send you out.
And also, okay, you did. Thank you. No, forget, I was trying to tell you, let me out. Thank you.
Okay, yes.
Okay, we're back. I'm gonna go ahead and bring Mr. Norfolk up. I know that Deputy, let me find the paperwork.
Good afternoon, George.
Good afternoon. Give me 1 second. Yes, Deputy Cunningham is going to be bringing the paperwork over, but he did provide me with some information, so I'm going to go ahead and do a first appearance. Or are you Yarrence Norfolk? You were charged with criminal trespass, damage to property. Do you understand your charge and waive the reading of your, matter of fact, give me 1 second.
Just recall, you want me to go ahead and take the paperwork upstairs? Yeah, okay. What?
Sir, we are waiting for your updated paperwork from Officer Cunningham. He has amended the paperwork. So did you want me to read the actual paperwork, or do you want me to just explain to you your bond and the conditions of your bond?
I actually want to get some more understanding of what I'm charged with.
Okay, so have a seat.
You said have a seat?
Yes. Wait for Officer Cunningham to send over your paperwork. And if there's anybody who's listening who can get in touch with Officer Cunningham, please let him know that that's the last person we're waiting on to get this calendar finished. He does want his affidavit read aloud, so I do need to see that updated warrantless arrest affidavit as soon as possible. I'll be standing by.
I will move him forward. So you can see that they want to come and pick him up. And we should just. Okay.
While we're waiting on Officer Cunningham to bring the paperwork, I just realized we still have to do Mr. Betts. Is it safe to do him now? Is there a deputy available that can hear the court?
Yes, ma'am. Let me call over there and check on him.
Thank you.
Have a seat, brother. Yeah, hold on a second.
Your Honor. Your Honor,
Yes,
we're gonna do him in medical.
say that again.
We're gonna do Mr. Betts in medical.
Okay, thank you. Whenever y'all are ready, just let me know. I'm over here signing paperwork. I think we may have an email about, no, still waiting on the email for Norfolk. As soon as we get that email, we'll be done.
Okay.
I gotta do this in 7.
We are ready to go on the record for Mr. Norfolk. I also need to check in with you all about Mr. Betts. I know you all were saying you were getting him available. Are we ready to proceed with Norfolk and Betts?
Ready for Norfolk, we want to take the unit to Miracle to do Betts.
Okay, well, we're ready for Norfolk, and then I'll still be standing by for Betts. Mr. Norfolk, you are accused of criminal trespass and that you caused damages to the hallway and living room walls by creating deep cuts within the frames of the paint. Norfolk also created severe damage to the patio blinds. Norfolk also created a ruckus inside the bedroom by throwing items all over the floor. The total amount of damages is $150. The victim is his fiance, Tamika Simpson. As a result, you are to, your bond is $3,500. You are to stay away from Miss Simpson. You cannot return to 1006 Baywood Circle, and you must not violate laws out on bond. Are you able to make bond?
Your Honor, can I just say one thing?
Yes.
And the reason why I want to speak out is because when I was getting arrested, the officer didn't even allow me to tell him exactly how the stuff in the hallway and stuff happened. He told me
Okay, let me stop you. This is not the appropriate forum for you to explain what's going on. This is not your trial, or is it a plea date? I'm just here to explain to you what your charges are. You told me earlier that you did not understand what criminal trespass was. I've explained to you by reading the warrant in its entirety to you what you've been charged with and why you've been charged with that. It's going to be appropriate for you to share any potential defenses to this case with your attorney. Your next court date will be December 8th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Are you able to make bond, sir? That was my question for you.
How much was the bond?
$3,500.
I don't know. Yes, maybe.
Okay, so you have a bond set. Your conditions, as I stated, are to stay away from Ms. Simpson, to not return to that address, and to not violate any laws out on bond. You have an attorney to represent you. Your next court date is going to be December 8th. Have a good day, okay, sir? We'll be standing by. You're welcome. We'll be standing by for Mr. Betts.
About 10 minutes, John.
Yes, because the judge just called her, she waited for him. No, so first appearance. Yes, the court may know.
I'm assuming you all are ready.
Judge.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's out of
I can't hear you. It's a little choppy. I know earlier you said he was being combative.
I can't hear you.
I said earlier you said he was being combative. If you want, you can mute your video. I will read the entire speech, his charges, and his court date, and that's what we'll do. We're not gonna play these kind of games today. Is that what you want us to do? It's a little choppy. I don't know if that's your signal or mine, but go ahead and is the offender or the alleged inmate in earshot of the court?
Yeah, he is, but he's out of it though.
He's what?
He's out of it. They give him a shot.
Oh, he's asleep.
Yeah.
Okay. So because he's asleep, that's a different story. We need to reset him. He's going to be reset. Let me see the time of this warrant. When was he brought in? Can somebody wake him up? We have to first appear him now. We have to first appear him now. This charge is very serious. And based on when he was brought in, we need to go ahead and get this done. You gotta be up for his court. I just can't have it. Make sure that he's awake. Get the video, and I will read his first appearance as well as his warrant, as well as his the bond issue. We have to do it today. Let me know when you've gotten him awake so I can read this to him and be done with this.
I go about the man thing, man. Okay, Judge, you got him up.
ahead and mute you all's microphone. I'm going to read this in its entirety. Mr. Betts, this is your first appearance before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County. We are not here to try your case or take a plea. You are here for the court to inform you of your rights, to set bail on certain offenses, to schedule a preliminary hearing, and to appoint an attorney. You have a right to remain silent and say nothing. Should you give up this right, anything you say during this proceeding may be used against you if this case goes to trial. During this and all other proceedings, you have the right to the presumption of innocence until the state proves your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to indictment by grand jury for most felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors. You have the right to a speedy and public trial by jury. You have the right to see, hear, and cross-examine witnesses who are called to testify against you. You have the right to compel the attendance of witnesses on your own behalf. You have the right to testify and offer evidence should you choose to do so. Should you choose not to do so, no presumption of your guilt may be raised. You have the right to have an attorney represent you, and I am appointing an attorney to represent you. You will not be entitled to a bond based on the nature of your charge. Should you get a bond, special conditions will be not to violate any conditions, but as I stated, you will not be getting a bond today. You are charged with aggravated assault upon a public safety officer. As I've stated, you do not have a bond. It's alleged you made an attempt to assault the officer, Deputy Antonio Vives, while you, there was a large axe which was used against him, could result in bodily injury or harm. The officer responded to a call for service at the address, and there you came to the door with the axe in your hand and motioned the axe towards Deputy Vives or Deputy Vives in a chopping motion in which the deputy was in reasonable fear of receiving bodily injury. As stated, based on the nature of these charges, you do not have a bond at this time. Your next court date will be January 6, 2021 at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day. My records show that that's our last inmate. Is that accurate, Deputy Crawley?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Y'all have a very safe holiday. I will see you all soon. I appreciate y'all. Y'all take care.
All right, well.